self-defense kata is our guard. Simply what we want to do to form our guard, we want to have our hands on our face like this, then just bring them off our face an inch or two. The reason why we don't hold our hands out in front like this is because our arms themselves form targets. And if we hit our arms, we may be distracted, or worse, if we get an artery cut, that will be very, very distracting. And then obviously our opponent can come in with secondary attacks. So we want to keep our hands away from our opponent, but also to having the hands here protects our vital, our cardiovascular organs, as well as our throat, and from here in general our face, and hopefully from here they won't slash, well they can't slash towards us because our hands are in the road. The second defense in knife self-defense kata is a very, very important defense. Distance in knife self-defense is crucial. We want to be able to see someone coming. So what we want to do is, the first thing I want to do in this situation is if I see my attacker coming, is I want to kick them. And that will make them wary of coming towards me, and that will buy me more time, because now, rather than feeling confident getting in close with their knife, they are wary about my kick before they even start. The next defense in the kata is our defense against a straight stab, or potentially even an upward stabbing motion. It's far and away the most common attack with knives, and it's also one of the most challenging, and it appears in the kata twice because we need that repetition to get this defense down pat. Basically, with this, I want to step to the side. So if the thing just moves here, I don't want to just block and rely on the timing of my hand. I want to move offline and make sure, even if I fail my block or didn't attempt my block, I'm in a position where I'm avoiding his attack. So here, obviously with the block, you know what I mean? I'm blocking, but I've also made him miss. After he stabs, he's going to draw his hand back very, very, very quickly. And I want to follow it through. The reason why I don't grab here is because if I grab here and he draws across, he might slash the tendons in my hands, or worse, draw a blade across my arteries. So I block with the back of my hands to protect my arteries. I follow the technique back in. From here, as soon as it comes back, I want to very, very quickly grab. When it's back in this drawn position, it's at its slowest, so it should be easiest to grab here. From this position, I'm going to step back, keep my elbows in, and I'm going to roll and twist with my hips, and roll this way, and then I'm going to twist from here back, and step on his head, and keep his arm elongated from here to make sure that he doesn't have the strength to maneuver this arm around, and I'll shout at him to drop the knife. Good. When I do that last twisting motion, it's important to note from here, I want to get his hand to face that way. If I get his hand to face that way, to face backwards, that's when he's going to fall. Good. Okay, the next defense in the kata is from an ice pick downwards type attack. From here, as it comes through, again, I want to move offline. I want to make him miss. I'm going to block as well as insurance, and also to hopefully grab. But the biggest thing is I want an exit strategy. I don't want to ever be in a knife self-defense situation, staying in front of an attacker. Here, even if I'm good at blocking, if and I deflect, he might come through a secondary attack. By moving this way, I avoid his secondary attacks, and I can in fact exit the entire situation. So as he comes forwards, I move this way. As I move this way, I'm blocking back of the arm again to avoid the arteries. I quickly grab his hand here, and then I kick the back of his knee to bring him down. My personal preference is to bring the arm around here, and to from here disarm from there. The next attack in the kata is a slashing attack. This requires great timing. From here, it's quite challenging to get them on the inside of the attack. It can be done, but it's quite a challenge from here. Often an attacker sometimes they will have a big wind-up, sometimes their wind-up will be quite small. Generally, the best thing to do is to move backwards as they do their forward slash, and as the technique passes, I'll rush back in. Again, I want to protect my artery, so I want to come back in, not with my open palms, from here that you can slash from here, but I want to come back in with the back of my hands, Once I'm convinced that I'm not going to have my artery slashed, then I'm going to go for the grab. And again, I want to get to this motion here and stop. The last defense in this kata is for when someone holds a knife to your throat. There are several things I want to do here, but before we even start, I want to make sure I'm very, very subtle when I begin and initiate this defense. If I make big movements, he might get spooked and react and just simply cut my throat. So I want to make sure that initially, from here, I'm just subtly and slowly bringing my hands towards his hands, and hopefully he won't notice. But even if he does, from here, because I'm moving my hands slowly, he might think that's out of nervousness, but it's not but he might not necessarily guess that I'm bringing my hands closer to his hands. So once I've brought my hands up here, I'm going to do three things. First of all, I'm going to push here, I'm going to bring the other hand here and pull down, and I'm going to tuck my chin. Pushing here obviously keeps the knife away from me. Pulling this down obviously also keeps the knife away from me. Bringing my chin down is very, very important, because if these two slip, he'll only cut my chin and not my throat. Once I do this, from here, I also want to move this way and slip my head out. I don't want to hang around here doing this. I want to very, very quickly do this and slip my head out so I'll look like this. From here, once I'm here, I'm going to try and make him stab himself in his own kidneys as he had a knife to my throat. I think he deserves it.